Hello, everybody. This is the judge that got me hooked on Bellingham in the first place. This is the one, I thought he was cute. And so I started watching it.
So I'm going to get some documents thrown in here. And Mr. Jackson, I think we're good to go. So if you don't mind coming back up, sir. All right. I'm going to backtrack just for a moment since we can formally go through arraignments. Obviously, we've already established PC. Mr. Lockhart, are you ready to go through arraignment today with Mr. Jackson?
Yes, Your Honor. We can enter the not guilty plea on his behalf.
Okay. So, Mr. Jackson, we've already waived a formal reading of the rights and the charges. So I'm going to enter a not guilty plea on your behalf, Mr. Jackson, as to both of these counts. That plea is now entered. Of course, I've already heard from the city on release conditions. So, Mr. Lockhart, go ahead.
And, Your Honor, as of right now, Mr. Jackson is not currently working, but he is a stay-at-home dad. He has been in Whatcom County his entire life, and that as of right now, he does not have any money to be able to post any amount of bail. He does receive treatment through the methadone clinic, so there are, treatment services that he would need access to if held in custody that I don't believe he would be able to get to. But as of right now, we are just asking for a PR release. He does not have any prior DV history, any convictions or anything. So we're just asking for that PR release based on not only the income, but also the lack of DV history.
Okay, thank you. I need just a moment here since Mr. Jackson was just added to the calendar. I was not able to look at his history prior to this, so I'm going to look at the history right now.
And, Your Honor, we can call the matter of Aaron Jackson.
All right, Aaron Jackson. This would be cause number... Actually, I don't see Mr. Jackson on the list. Is this an add-on?
It is an add-on, Your Honor. The citation just hasn't come through yet on this one, and it's not in my queue, so
okay, so
this is going to have to be a first appearance here today.
Okay. All right, well, Mr. Jackson, good morning, sir. How are you?
Not good.
All right, sorry to hear that, Mr. Jackson. We'll see what we've got going on here today. Pretty sure I did review the PC on this one, counsel. Is this the alleged DV?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Okay, I did read it then. All right, well, any comments on probable cause, Mr. Lockhart?
No, Your Honor.
All right, court will find probable cause for, if memory serves, it's 2 counts. Is it A4 and malicious mischief?
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right, court finds PC established on both charges. And with that, counsel, I guess we can't go through arraignment, so I'll just ask you, have you reviewed the charges and the rights with Mr. Jackson?
We did, yes, Your Honor.
All right, and asking to waive a formal reading this morning?
We would, yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Jackson, any questions at all, sir, about your rights or the charges?
No, Your Honor.
All right, I will waive the formal reading. Because we don't have the ticket formally filed, we cannot enter pleas either way for you today, sir. So I'll just go ahead and hear from the city attorney on release. Go ahead, Mr. Kilfoyle.
Your Honor, at this time, the city is going to be asking for $1,000 cash or court-approved performance bond per charge for a total of $2,000. Your Honor, the defendant has prior history of at least 3 prior assault in the 4th degrees. I note they're not domestic violence. However, that's 3 prior assault in the 4th degrees. The city was going to be asking for a domestic violence no contact order to be put into place. I don't have a physical copy of the form, but I was curious if the court could potentially, since O Court doesn't have any documents yet, if we could print out a blank from another case and then I could fill out the information on a blank for another form. All the information should be on it.
I suppose that's
if that's possible for the court.
I guess the only problem is I think it would have the other case's heading on it.
I don't know if we could just do whiteout on that because it'd be a physical copy.
Would you rather do that than just the paper copy that we have?
If the court has a paper copy, I'd love to use that. I'm out of the paper copy up here.
Contact orders. I think we might just need to do that.
Okay. And then, Your Honor, I think that while I would note for the record that in the PC statement, there's no allegations of...
Sorry about that. Thank you.
Your Honor, while there is no allegations of alcohol or drugs in the PC statement or the official report, I would note for the record that drugs are alleged in both the LAP form as well as in the catalog itself. However, I just wanted to note that for the court's information. Should there be any further issues on this case, I think we would be asking for pretrial monitoring. I don't know that there's quite enough here without anything in the narrative or the PC statement at this time to get to pre-trial monitoring.
No
I think it's
drugs.
important to note that in conjunction with the defendant's history. If the court was willing to take that information and add pre-trial monitoring, the city would greatly appreciate it. I just understand that the court's not willing to, since there's nothing directly in the PC statement or directly in the
You're
report.
crazy. That's crazy.
So at this time, Your Honor, I'm just going to go, that would be the city's request in total. I'm going to work on this paperwork here.
Before you do that, my clerk just let me know that it popped into sectors, so I think we can actually go through arraignment and get it added to the calendar.
Perfect.
If you don't mind sitting tight for 1 second.
That would be great, Your Honor.
Perfect. All right, Mr. Jackson, we're going to be just a moment because my clerk does need a minute to get this formally added to the calendar. So just hang tight.
Okay.
I'll be back with you in just a moment.
Okay.
Mr. Jackson's winding up like a top.
All right.
Okay. So here's where I'm at. No DV history, as counsel noted. I don't see any. Looks like 3 prior assaults, if I'm reading that correct. One was from 2021. One was quite old. It was 2006. I just lost track of the third one, so I've got to find that real quick.
I don't even know of any assault charges, Your Honor.
All right, well, I'm not going to get into all of the details of them, but just so you're aware, Mr. Jackson, I see conviction, assault 4th degree, Bellingham Municipal Court, 22721. That does show on your history. They show the old one was from, actually, no, there's also one 22621 out of Whatcom County Superior Court. And then there is one much older, that is the one from 2006 out of Whatcom County Superior Court. So 3 prior assault convictions. Based on that, the court does find there is a risk of a violent offense being committed. We have 3 prior assaults, although none are domestic violence. Warrant history isn't terrible, but there's about 10 or 12 cases with warrant history. So the court does make a finding there's some risk of non-appearance. I will, however, take into account Mr. Jackson's financial situation. City's request is probably pretty reasonable, frankly, but given Mr. Jackson's situation, I'm just going to set it at $250 cash performance bail. At this point, I'm going to order Mr. Jackson not to possess or consume, but I think counsel's right. I don't think I really have enough to go all the way to pretrial supervision, so I'm not.
Understood, Your Honor.
So that'll be the order here today. It'll be $250 cash performance bail based on the 3 prior assault convictions, but taking into account Mr. Jackson's financial situation, I think that's reasonable.
And I'm sorry for interrupting, Your Honor. Is that 250 per charge, or is that 250 total?
I'm just going to do it total.
So
I
125
recognize
each.
that realistically the city's request was probably reasonable, but just trying to take that all into account here. So, Mr. Jackson, if that bail is posted, there's going to be a number of conditions here. Appear timely for your scheduled court hearings.
I don't have any money.
Have no new criminal law violations. Yeah, and Mr.
Just sit in
Jackson,
jail, I guess.
I did take into account your financial situation.
Yeah, I appreciate. I don't have any money. I'll just sit in jail.
All right. Well, I'm going to finish going through the conditions, but looks like Mr. Jackson does not wish to stay, so we can enter the no contact order nevertheless. So I'll be just a minute filling out the order. I'm going to find Mr. Jackson eligible for the public defender. All right. And it looks like you've got everything filled out there, Mr. Kilfoyle, on the no contact order. Is that good to go?
I believe it is, Your Honor.
Perfect. Okay. All right. And the no firearms box is checked, and that is because of prior felony convictions. So I will leave that checked. Do that. Okay. All right. I'm going to sign off on this order. For the record, of course, Mr. Jackson has left the courtroom, but the court does have authority to enter the pretrial no contact order even without him present, and I'm going to do so. July 11th, you said? Okay. All right, I got to add the couple of dates here. I mean, we have gone through arraignment, so at this point, Mr. Lockhart, do you just want to do the standard 2 weeks for pretrial?
We would, Your Honor.
Okay. So that'll be June 3rd, 8:30, and then my clerk says July 11th, 1:30 would be the pretrial.
Fucking stupid. Fucking bitch ass fucking Whatcom County. You suck dick. $250 for fucking malicious learn. You guys are stupid. Fucking give me my mess. You guys don't know what the fuck you're doing. Obviously.
All right, Mr. Lockhart, anything else ready to go?
Your Honor, we can call the matter of Anthony Poff.
All right, Anthony Poff, cause number 4A0173831. On to
Mr. Jackson, you're good to go.
All right, is Mr. Poff in the courtroom? There he is. Morning, Mr. Poff.
Good morning.
All right, this is on for arraignment. I did review probable cause. Mr. Lockhart, any comments on PC?
No, Your Honor, I reviewed that earlier.
All right, court does find probable cause is established on both charges. With that, are you ready on arraignment, counsel?
Yes, Your Honor. At this time, we did go over rights. He did sign off on those rights. We'd waive a formal reading of those and enter a not guilty plea on his behalf.
Thank you. Mr. Poff, any questions at all about your rights to the charges, sir?
No.
All right, I'll waive the formal reading. Not guilty pleas are entered on your behalf as to both. And with that, Mr. Kilfoyle, go ahead on release conditions.
Your Honor, at this time, the city would be asking for $1,000 cash report per performance bond as well as pre-trial monitoring with UAs. The reason for this, Your Honor, is while the defendant might not have any history in the state of Washington, we haven't had an opportunity to run an NCIC yet. I would also note that the alleged facts here allege that law enforcement had actually contacted Mr. Poff on an unrelated matter just prior to this incident. They noted his intoxication at that point, and then the alleged driving through the parking lot, destroying the bushes and causing that damage, and then returning to his home, at which point law enforcement had to contact him there. This was also a BAC refusal as well. So you have an accident, a refusal, and high intoxication that was noted by the officers. I know that bail's a little bit high, but I think that some bail and pretrial monitoring are warranted given these facts.
Thank you, Mr. Kilfoyle. Mr. Lockhart, go ahead.
And, Your Honor, as of right now, Mr. Poff, although he's only been in Whatcom County 6 months, he has lived in Washington the majority of his life. He does have family all over Washington. He is currently working as an electrical engineer, and that, there are no prior DUIs in any sort, and any kind of last criminal conviction was in 2003, so quite a significant amount of time. I don't believe that there's any real danger to the community aside from the nature of the charge, I guess, but officers' evaluations are not any kind of BAC numbers. So at this point, we're just asking for a PR release. The court feels it's necessary for, pretrial monitoring as perhaps a least restrictive means. I don't think there'd be that much of an argument in lieu of bail at this time.
All right. Well, Mr. Poff, I can see that there's no prior DUI history in the state of Washington. Counsel noted they haven't run an out-of-state history, but obviously that means that just isn't before the court right now. So I am going to release you on your personal recognizance, Mr. Poff. I'll note any objection from the city, but with no prior DUI history, I think that a PR is appropriate. I am going to find, though, that the least restrictive alternative here would be pretrial supervision. The reason being, we have a refusal case. We do have an alleged accident. Those are two, to me, aggravating factors here that would make pretrial supervision appropriate, even with a lack of DUI history. So, Mr. Poff, you are going to get out of jail today, but there's going to be some fairly strict conditions on pretrial supervision. So, once you're released from custody, you'll have to report to the Whatcom County District Court Probation Department. Their office is located on the 4th floor of the county courthouse. That is the building that's directly next to the jail. Do you know which building I'm talking about, sir?
I don't, but I shouldn't have a problem finding it.
Okay, you'll get the order, the address is on there, but I guess the easiest way for me to describe it is when you walk out the front doors of the jail, Mr. Poff, you're going to be looking right at the building I'm asking you to go to. So
Okay.
just head on over there, check in with them on the 4th floor. They are going to monitor a number of conditions. Of course, appear timely for all of your scheduled court hearings, have no new criminal law violations while the case is pending, do not drive without a valid license and proof of insurance, have no drug or alcohol-related infractions, do not use or possess alcohol, non-prescribed drugs, or marijuana, do not enter any establishment whose primary business is the selling or serving of alcoholic beverages or marijuana, and you would be subject to random urinalysis at probation's discretion. Do you have any questions at all, Mr. Poff, about any of those conditions?
I do not.
All right. Mr. Poff, would you like to screen for a public defender, or do you intend to hire counsel, sir?
I would like to screen, I guess.
Okay. Are you, I guess I'm answering my own question. You are currently employed, is what counsel said?
Yes,
All right. Do you receive any public benefits like food stamps or anything like that?
I do not.
No? Okay. So you are going to have to apply online, but I'll give you the link, the website that you need to go to apply. Probably best to do that sooner than later, Mr. Poff, so that if you are eligible, we'll get you an attorney on board. But we just need to review some additional information that I can't do on the record here today. So we'll go ahead and do that. And then we just need to find a pretrial. Where are we going for that? July 15th. Okay. July 15th at 1:30 in the afternoon would be your pretrial hearing, Mr. Poff.
Okay.
All right. I think that covers everything we needed to do this morning. Do you have any questions, Mr. Poff, at this point?
I don't.
All right. Well, we'll see you on July 15th at 1:30. Please make sure to check in with probation upon your release. And other than that, just make sure to apply for the public defender if that's the route you choose to go. Otherwise, you always have the right to hire an attorney if that's what you wish to do.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Poff.
Thank you.